Hey there, it's Lacy J, here to ask you to go to spacebearmedia.com right now to access all our content, buy yourself some merch, and most importantly, send us a message, a question, fan mail, even hate mail. We'll respond on YouTube. Also, please remember to rate and review the podcast on your favorite app or share it with someone you know who loves Lost. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Lost in My 40s, season fucking 6. I cannot believe this.
There's a lot of seasons of this show.
I think 6 was a good amount. Of course, we've been doing that in 3 years, and it's so weird that it's starting to come to a close. But welcome back, everybody. To the real beginning of the end. Yeah. How are my hosts doing?
Great.
Well, you're here with me, so. Oh, you mean for the listeners? Great.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Great.
I know how you're doing. All right. All right. Did everybody have a nice little hiatus from recording? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I can't help. I'm in this mood where it's going to be really bittersweet when we end this podcast, but we're so close to where I'm not going to have this insane workload for a hobby that has been there for 3 years.
Well, when we started, we had nothing else to do because it was the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I thought the pandemic was going to last longer. I don't know. There wasn't a vaccine when had the idea and we started prepping for it and stuff. So
yeah.
Anyways.
This podcast was like getting an Australian sheepdog or something. It was like one of those things that was like at first, oh, that's a really good idea, and then you start to realize, holy shit, how much attention, how much.
Yeah, that puppy turned into a dog.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh my god, this requires so much work.
Y'all ain't as cute anymore.
Well, especially for you, because you do all the editing and sound stuff.
It's mostly Lacy.
Yeah, there's a definite time commitment for Ben. Actually. Hold on. This is a good segue. Actually, a good setup into what is happening today in this little podcast. First of all, only the cool kids listen to this. And second of all, we billed it as Lost the Final Chapter. And I was going to use, the TV thing. And I was had a plan. We were going to discuss the clips the producer showed us and why I thought, some of those clips were pertinent heading into last season, blah, blah, blah. And then some fucking life happened. And we are not a professional podcast. We don't make money of this. This is not our job. This is something that we do for fun. And when we started it in the pandemic and there just wasn't much else going on. It didn't seem like as much work. Now slowly.
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Right. So slowly over these years, we've been trying to get back to regular life, but we've been really committed to this podcast and finishing this for you guys. And I've listened to podcasts before that I feel like start off really strong. And they kind of wither at the end. I think we're the opposite. I thought we started off knowing not what the fuck we were doing. And I plan to finish this strong. So the point is, I could not get to making the outline for this episode. So I said, fuck it. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to meet for a sec and we're going to talk. And we're just going to talk about our journey to season 6 and what it's been like to make this podcast. And I'm getting a little sentimental about it. Like there's this part of me that wants to jump right into another one with the 4 of you because it's so nice to have this time together.
The 4 of us.
I'm not available.
I mean, the 3 of us. I make 4. I'm not
did I hear you wrong, or did you say sedimental? It sounded like you said sedimental.
Yeah, I'm at the very bottom. Sentimental is the word I tried to use. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I
might
use wrong words.
Well, sometimes because I'm hearing you over voice over IP, so sometimes things cut out, and I just sounded like I heard sedimental, and I thought that was funny.
Right.
Because
but
of the
anyways,
way, like architecture, that's one of the words that gets you.
I do. I can't say that word right. I always say it. Architecture, like you can feel
architecture.
Yeah, she always says it that way. It's funny.
Worcestershire.
Like if I'm not thinking really hard about how to say it properly, and it drives Ben crazy because every time we travel, it's one of my favorite things, and I just wander around a new city, and be like, I love the architecture, and he's like, stop it.
You just have to touch the buildings when you say that.
That's right. Exactly.
Anyway, so when you brought up like the level of work, that is one of the reasons this whole, podcast that you're listening to right now has changed. But it's another reason why it's going to be amazing, just sort of when it ends, to have that piece of my life back. Like I must spend a good close to, let me think how many times I watch it. Because I was like, 1, 2, that's at least 3, probably 6 to 7 hours prepping every episode. That's a lot.
That is
that sounds about right. Yeah.
That's just to
more
prep.
dedication than I would have.
Yeah, and I watch it at least twice per episode, if not more. Like when there's a longer hiatus between, our film, our chats, then
because our schedule's all over the place.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like if we're like, oh, next week we're gonna do these 2, and I prep for them, and then that didn't work out, and then a week later, then I'm like, okay, well now I gotta watch it again. To refresh my brain.
Yeah, but for me, I'm including the times I have to watch it, but also the times that like I write the outline and all that kind of stuff, and then after that, then
you do a final listen after I'm done editing and all that.
Well, then I have to. Well, I listen to the podcast, and we have a spreadsheet, and I put in every edit that I want done at the precise second. So I have to go through and do that. So I have to listen to it sometimes multiple times. And good God, when we have like Dave or Caleb or Ado on, and there's more voices. There are some times where, 5 or 6 of us are talking over each other, and I listen to the same 15-second clip 20 times just to pull out, to focus on each voice and to pull it out and to know who I want to mute and who we want to hear. It's a lot. Like I did not realize. I listened to a lot of podcasts, but I did not realize how like intensive this would be when we started it. But then I hand it off to Ben. He actually makes the edits. Then he brings it back to me. Then I have to listen to it again to make sure it's okay, or if we have to go through other edits. Then I have to do all the social media after that, all the posts, pulling off all of the graphics, writing all of the, episode descriptions, and like it's an insane amount of work.
I'd be surprised if your average was anything under 12 hours per episode.
I would be surprised as well. Yeah. And
so you're going to have this entire show memorized by the end of it.
I know, right? I nearly did before it, but actually I was surprised at a lot of the stuff that I had, the little details, I guess, that had gone away. But anyways, so it's the workload. Things have been insane lately for me. It was in the ER again.
Working or as a patient?
Oh, both.
As a patient.
Working in the veterinary ER. But as a patient, because I think like there's something fucked up with my knee, and my lower left leg swelled up. Now, I had, by the way, the blood clot's gone, for those of you following that journey. And this happened
I'd be freaking out that maybe you had another blood clot.
Yeah.
Exactly, because the kind I had, the subclavian, is the rarest type of blood clot you can get. But once you have one, you can get more.
You're special.
I know. The most common one would be in the lower left leg. I think I fucked up my left knee. My whole left leg swelled up. And they wouldn't do an orthopedic workup until I went to the ER and got an ultrasound to prove that it was another blood clot, which it's not. But anyways.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, but then they gave me morphine in the ER, which felt great for a little while. And then I don't know. It's very possible that it's totally coincidental. My brain doesn't allow me to just decide one thing's connected to the other simply because I feel like it is. But the chain of events it sort of appeared as though, like, when the morphine was wearing off, I got really sick. And I Googled it. You can't have withdrawals until you've been on opioids for like 6 months. So it can't be like medically that, but something happened in my body that got really upset. And I threw up for 3 days and I lost 4 days this last week. Fucked up.
And opioids can cause nausea, but not that.
Not like that. And it would be, if I was going to be nauseated by it, it would be right when they push it in.
Exactly.
Not like 5 hours later. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but sucked. Ben had to clean up a puke.
Oh, poor thing.
Wow.
Well, I wasn't being sarcastic. It might have come out that way, but no, like I seriously feel for Ben that he had to do that. But
no, I was laughing at Derek, who went.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because that's something I smell that stuff. It's over.
Oh, this wasn't as bad. I mean, I've had plenty of
water,
occasions to clean up when you've gotten sick, and this one wasn't bad at all. You got pretty much everything into the proper receptacles. So
yeah. Ben almost I think he almost divorced me the time that I threw up tamales.
Oh my God. In the fucking, like, we had this little bath, like this little we just call it the shit closet.
Yeah, we call it the poop closet because it's one of those like larger bathrooms, but the toilet itself has its own door and it's just a tiny little.
I love that. I want that in my next house.
Yes.
Yeah. So we call it the poop closet.
Privacy.
Yeah, but the problem is when you're having diarrhea and you're shitting yourself and there's nowhere to throw up. I threw up forward and it came out like a.
Wait, it was come out of both ends?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
you need to get a bucket.
So I threw up. You couldn't even fit a bucket in there. You don't understand how small it is. But here's the fucked up thing. It's like, it was tamale. It came up as this sort of like pasty cement almost. And it hit the ground and it was blocking the door. He couldn't get the door open because the puke was holding it closed. And I was screaming because it smelled so bad. And I was screaming, help me, it smells in here.
When I actually cracked the door, the smell that hit me was like I almost puked on the spot. It was fucking gross. He
finally got the door open. And then I heard, oh, Lacy, what is this? Oh my God, I don't know what's happening. It's tamales. Yeah. Oh boy. Ben's cleaned up a lot of my puke. I puke more than the average human being.
I last puked December 21st, 2001.
What in the fuck?
This went way off the rails, man.
There were never any rails to begin with.
No.
But like the three people who generally listen to these, they're not listening anymore. They're done.
Hey, do you know what I did, Ben? I thought before we recorded this, I wanted to jot down everywhere we've traveled since we started the Lost podcast. And it was really easy to do because we have a recorded history of magnets that go in order. Mm-hmm. I just had to figure out the date that it started. So you and I together, first of all, I went to Dublin by myself where I met Ado. We'll talk about the friends we've made along the way, I guess, in a little bit too.
I'm going to LA next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Weather will be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be gorgeous. And it's the company picnic. So Caleb gets to come with me. And they're taking us to fucking Universal Studios Hollywood.
Oh, fun.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so jealous because do you know what just opened there this year? Is the
Harry Potter World?
No, we saw Harry Potter World in Orlando.
Okay.
No, the Nintendo World.
Oh,
just opened there. Oh, I would love to go to that. That's so cool. Yeah, we went to Diagon Alley when we were in Orlando this year. Speaking of
our
travel,
company picnic is right in the center of Universal Studios Hollywood. It's going to be so cool.
Cool. Yeah, you got a great company. They do a lot of cool things for you.
Yeah.
All right, Ben. So here's where we've been since the Lost podcast has existed: London, Amsterdam, Charleston, New Orleans, Boston twice, Orlando, and Las Vegas. That wasn't quite in order. That's a decent amount of places to go.
Yeah.
And I went to Dublin, and Christy and I went to Dominican Republic, and Derek's been to Las Vegas 600,000 times.
And upstate New York, that's about it.
Yeah, you always
I need to
go
expand
there.
my horizons. I traveled a lot more when my parents were alive, though.
Well, I keep trying to get you to come live here, and then we can travel.
But you're so busy. I mean, live there? I don't know. The housing prices are insane.
That's true.
Yeah.
And your gas prices are horrible.
Yeah, it's also true.
Yeah, but salaries are also higher.
That's also true.
And I work from home. I drive about 4,000 miles a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, then you don't really have to worry about the gas prices.
Gas wouldn't be an issue, would
it? Not that gas, anyway.
We're going to Savannah, Georgia in October.
Nice. When we were in Charleston, the tour guide that we had called it Savannah Charleston's redheaded stepsister.
I've always wanted to go to Savannah. My whole life, it's been on my bucket list.
I was there when I was a kid. I don't remember.
Yeah. Caleb came to me one day. He said, "Do you want to go to Savannah for our wedding anniversary?" I was like, "Yes." And he handed me a Post-it. He goes, "Okay, here are the flights. Go ahead and buy them on your credit card."
Nice. Yeah, we have to buy some flights. Let's circle back to the friends we made along the way. I did go to Dublin and meet Ado in person and his lovely lady. And there was no baby at the time. Have not met the baby, but the baby is turning 1 coming up soon.
Wow.
Which is insane. But here's something exciting. The podcast will be over. Actually, it will be ending. Ben and I will be in Toronto for the 20th anniversary of the Lost TV show, September 22nd. Our last episodes will be coming out that day. And we will actually be meeting Dave in person on our trip.
Awesome.
Yay! Isn't that exciting? I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah, that's going to be really fun.
It's kind of wild that we just sort of randomly started a podcast and met 2 Irish guys, and now we have international friends. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Well, my ADD meds are finally dialed in, I think.
Oh, yes.
It's been super, super helpful. And I have all these journals all over the place that some of them I've had for years and years, and I never write anything in them at all. Mm-hmm. So I've started writing things in them. I have like one that's all work stuff and one that's just random thoughts. And then I have one that's all of my food thoughts.
Yeah.
Whether it's, an idea that I have or something that I've seen inspired by something on television, places I want to go eat in LA. I couldn't possibly eat as much as I want to in the time frame that I'm going to be there.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, it's been really cool. It's only been like a week that I've been doing this, and I have so much written down. It's very exciting for me. And so last night I made myself something that I had in my journal. I made homemade I didn't make homemade tostadas. I made the tostadas out of corn tortillas that I've store bought.
Right. Okay.
So tostadas, I made a yuzu guacamole.
Ooh.
And put that on. And then I took sashimi grade tuna and diced that really small and marinated that in a little bit of yuzu ponzu for a very short period of time. And I topped the whole thing with togarashi. It was fucking amazing.
I don't know what togarashi is.
Togarashi. It's
still don't know.
It's a Japanese spice blend.
Oh, okay. Cool. We're gonna get a little bit into
sounds amazing.
Into Japanese culture. I don't know if that's the right thing to say. In the beginning of this season, we're going to go to the temple at least, which looks very Japanese, I think, in the depiction.
Well, the guy speaks Japanese, and
right.
Indeed, he does. I'm glad for you, Christy. It's pretty wild, right? When suddenly in middle age, you all of a sudden can like do stuff that you never could do before because you had ADHD and you didn't know.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'll be working and be like, oh, I've got some free time. I know. I'll make a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Right. Instead of like, I'm just going to stare at the wall and.
Right. And now like I go through like a client's entire account and I write down, put all kinds of stuff on the spreadsheet. And then I send it to the client. And I'm like, I had some time. So here you go. How do you like this? Do you want me to do this often? Do you want me to change it? Like it's been great.
Nice.
Yeah. Get diagnosed, folks. If you think you're neurodivergent, don't delay.
Yep.
Because it will change your life. There's been a few 100%. Life-changing events. I don't know why I couldn't say that word. Since we've had the podcast going, right? I guess I had my seizure right before the podcast, I think. Because that would have been August of 2021. Maybe we had started recording in July. So I guess that does count.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I had my seizure. Ben was dying of cancer for 6 weeks until he wasn't.
Yeah.
I remember that shit. Yeah.
Fucked up.
Yeah. Lost some family members too.
I lost my grandma Betty and then my grandfather Frank. So, and Daisy, the dog that went
That's right.
all the time while we were recording.
Yes, Daisy has made an appearance in many of our podcasts, actually.
It's probably made your editing so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, you'll see in the spreadsheet, sometimes it would be like, there'd be like no other edits. And then there'd just be this slew of 10 in a row. Doggeroo here, Doggeroo here, Doggeroo here. Please mute. Oh, Daisy, poor thing. All right, guys. What do you think? Should we start season 6?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yep.
Derek. Next Wednesday, June 5th, you're going to get LAX Part 1 and LAX Part 2. They're both originals episodes. Derek is going to open the season for us like he always does. And Christy's going to take us through the second half of the first Flash Sideways episodes. Can't wait to see what you guys think. All right. To the listeners, thanks for hanging out with us today, talking about nothing. We'll see you next week. Bye. We'll see you next week or on YouTube right now if you want to watch the video pre-show. All right. LAX Parts 1, Parts 2, Oceanic Flight 815 fucking lands. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to go get some tamales. Bye.
Lost in My 40s is a Space Bear Media production. Executive produced and edited by me, Lacy J. Sound engineering, editing, and original music by Benjamin Trimp. Like and follow Lost in My 40s on Facebook and SpaceBear_Media on Instagram and Threads. Plus, follow Space Bear Media on YouTube for extra video content. Or for everything in one place, go to spacebearmedia.com.